Hi, this is Lada from astrolada.com with your November 2018 horoscopes. And this month is something else. I mean, there's so many amazing shifts that are starting to happen from November. The energy is changing and we're all going to feel it collectively. Jupiter is moving from Scorpio into Sagittarius, and usually the influence of a planet moving from one sign into another is most powerful at the beginning and also at the end when it's leaving. So Jupiter will make some gift to all of us in regards to Scorpio, where we've worked hard over the last 1 year. But this time, when Jupiter enters into Sagittarius, things will start happening much easier because Sagittarius is the sign of Jupiter. Things will start flowing naturally, more positively. While Jupiter was in Scorpio, it still gave us, but through some crisis first, through some, because it's the nature of Scorpio, some crisis, or first the death of something old, so Jupiter can give birth to something new, because Scorpio is this sign about death and rebirth. So it was, yes, it gave us some expansion as well and some growth, but through more extreme ways, circumstances, through crisis of some sort. While Jupiter going to Sagittarius, wow, I mean, it's in its own sign, expansion threefold. And you're going to start feeling it from November, all of us. So we're going to speak about Jupiter, how it's going to affect you for the next 1 year in different, according to your sign. We're going to speak about the nodes, the karmic nodes where fate is changing. They're changing signs as well. I'm going to say a few quick words about what it means for you for the next year and a half, what fated events are going to be happening in your life. There is also triple manifestation this month, and I'm going to speak about it. This is according to ancient Gemini astrology. There will be a trigger of 4 houses for every person that can manifest very powerfully. So this month is really happening. It can be extremely positive. There's some difficult influences as well we'll talk about. But just to let you know that I'm doing a webinar with April on Jupiter in Sagittarius on the 9th of November. It's only $29 if you come early. And if you sign it now, or $39 if you want us to look at your chart and send you an email with what Jupiter will specifically affect you, so you know which part of the webinar is most relevant for you. And also, it's going to be very in-depth, we're going to follow everything, and also early bird announcement for the 2019 horoscopes. Each one will be about an hour and a half long, in-depth, with days of birth, with month-by-month prediction, with everything. Will be I've been working on those, and I'll be working for a couple of months. And they're coming out in the middle of November. And if you order from now till the middle of November, one sign is $3.99, or all 12 signs for about $15.99. So amazing things, exciting things ahead. And let's start with the predictions. Aquarius, let's dive in. Let's see what first Jupiter moving from your 10th house to 11th house can bring you. And usually when a planet leaves a sign, in the case of Jupiter, it gives us some gift. It gives us some gift, and in your case, it's going to happen. Maybe you feel it already in October, maybe part of November, some gift in regards to your social status and in regards to your reputation in a positive way. For some, it might be a promotion or more leadership opportunities, more visibility in such roles. For others, can be some kind of recognition for a job well done, something positive that comes to you from legalizing something that houses institutions and people of power. Maybe someone of power can help you in some way. Or maybe you can empower yourself, be more visible somehow in regards to your career. Some peak can happen of some sort, or some good results in regards to that can happen, and some shift. And then Jupiter is starting to move into your 11th house from the 9th, 8th of October, November, and it's going to stay there for a whole year. And Jupiter will be in its own sign. So now it manifests very powerfully. A planet in its own sign, and especially Jupiter, gives very easy and with abundance. And what is the 11th house? It's gains from your reputation and from your experience. It's material gains. It's in ancient astrology, this is the house where it's your wages, the money you make from your business or from your career skills and your reputation. So it means that in the next 12 months, we'll have an expansion, especially we're talking here Aquarius rising to a lesser degree sun and moon, but they'll feel it too. Expansion of your financial situation and of your gains as well. And it's and you will expand also your social network. Many Jupiter gives many of much more. So if you're someone who is looking for followers on YouTube, Jupiter transiting 11th house, wow, it will manifest it in way easier and bigger way than you expected before, in its own sign, of course. And it might be more international audience that you receive. 11th house is large groups of people. You'd reach much larger groups of people. You can connect, you can create some big get-togethers with many people, for example. And I'm planning to do that 2019. It's not like I waited for that. It's just there was no other opportunity before that to do like a big seminars and with many people getting together, big groups, and to grow the community. And now it's going to happen. Jupiter in the 11th house, but this is a time to expand your reach, and Jupiter from there is making good aspects to your 7th house, to your 3rd house, so social connections, your business connections, your personal connections, your relationships. These will all become in the next 12 months a source of more gains and more popularity for you. You can meet new friends, new important friends that are beneficial, that are like a blessing, like mentor figures that like you. You can receive some kind of titles and honors of some sort, because this is the house of rewards. Maybe you worked very hard in the previous year or a few years. Now you receive your recognition, and you kind of start gathering the rewards of that with Jupiter in the 11th house. Some people, when Jupiter transits the 11th house, can get like a PhD or a doctorate or some kind of stipend or something like that, or promotion, bonus of some sort for more money. And business connections, socioeconomic networks expand your life. If you've been especially like me with the Saturn first in the 11th transiting, then in the 12th, loneliness, more isolation than normal. Well, now Jupiter will move things up there, make it more fun. Well, you connect with people that are either more affluent or more wiser, more spiritual. Jupiter or more abundant, with more positive attitude. Good things can start happening in the life as opportunities in the life of your friends, for example. And this will benefit you in some way. You would feel happy about it. This will expand your social interactions as well, and joyful moments with such people. And of course, Jupiter from there sends good aspects to the 3rd and the 7th, but we'll speak about that more into the Jupiter in Sagittarius webinar on the 9th of November. If you join me in April about it, we'll go way more in depth with that. But on another level, the first part, the last 20 days of the month, Jupiter and Mercury in the 11th house create a triple manifesting yoga. Yoga means combination. For this 11th house, for the 2nd house, for the 5th house and the 8th house. Because according to ancient Gemini astrology, when the Jupiter and Mercury are together in a mutable sign, and of course that's Sagittarius, they'll be together, it aspects all other mutable signs and triple activates them to give the most potent results in a positive way. So you can manifest a lot of social interactions in the last 20 days of November, maybe new friendships, beneficial networks. Everything that we talked about with Jupiter already starts from November with triple power, more gains, more money, resources, more valuables that you consider useful, that you consider desirable. 2nd house is valuable, savings, what we do with our money, some benefits from investments or resources that come to you by collaborating with others or other people's resources. So from a marriage partner or any kind of partner from other sources, you can benefit through it in the last 20 days of November. And 5th house, of course, which is more fun, more creative endeavors, activation of possibility for new ideas that come to you. Of course, the 11th house is social occasions, but 5th house is having fun, of more romantic activation, of enjoying yourself, entertainment, going out, dating of some sort. It can manifest a dating partner in your life as well. All right, but there is another big event that's happening, Aquarius, and that's that the nodes are moving. The south node is moving from our sign. Yes, it was good for people that are more introspective. It humbles you, the south node in one sign. It makes you lose your identity of self-identification and puts the light, like for the last year and a half, the light and the focus was on others, on our partnerships, on circumstances, like kind of circumstances not dependent on us, were leading us. We kind of didn't have the ability to lead and direct things in the way we want. It's kind of more dependent on partners, more dependent on business or personal collaborators. For some of you, it changed totally a social status in relationships. For some of you, it manifested fated relationships or ended relationships that are very important, because Rahu in the seventh house has this unpredictable technique. Maybe you attracted some people that were trying to use you as well, because Rahu can have this manipulating influence, but also you benefited in some way by collaborating with others and going back a little bit at the background. Maybe you lost your weight a little bit as well. Not weight as well. Ketu empties if it's your ascendant. But you might have lost your way a little bit, or the ability to start new projects, because Ketu makes us less interested, more apathetic, and the others kind of lead the way for us. But now Rahu and Ketu are moving into your 12th house respectively. Rahu will be here and into our 6th house. Bullshit. The other way around. Rahu is here, Ketu is here. Okay, so what does it mean? Wherever Rahu goes, we become very ambitious in regards to that. We become very fascinated, just like we were fascinated to make important business connection or personal sexual relationship, that we were putting a lot of focus on others. Now Rahu will get us very excited about work, about our duties and responsibilities, about moving ahead, because Rahu is self-promoting influence. Rahu is an opportunist. It wanted to become a god. It was a demon and it pretended to be a god and drank from the juice of immortality. So in the same way, we're kind of like, I'll do anything just to get that. So we'll feel like much more excited, and I want to get there. I want to get this privilege of the gods there. In regards to receiving some employment, in regards to receiving, getting some debt that can actually, even acquiring a debt of some sort, which is the 6th house, can escalate us when Rahu transit the 6th house for the next year and a half into a higher social status position or some privilege. Also, we can get very much excited and hungry for some kind of new alternative methods for healing, or to start taking care of our health. And it might be about exotic medicine that we get passionate about, or unusual ways of breaking bad habits. But you can get like obsessed almost. Whatever Rahu is obsessed with health diets, health routines, health regimes, obsessed with cleanliness and order and keeping things orderly. And it's gonna develop this Virgo side of us, but it's also going to move you forward, because Rahu is this energy that helps us progress much faster, and in a material way as well. So yes, fascination through new diets, fascination through health habits and health routines, or working out of some sort, and of course Rahu in the 6th can give fascination with medications, so be careful. 6th house rules all of those things. Obsession with taking care of your health. And also Rahu can make you move forward through employees. You can find, like, you can get domestic help, or you can employ people for your company, or people that you manage in some way. Rahu makes you very ambitious to get the right people, to make things happen there, and you actually can get some quite ambitious employees that are a bit more taboo breaking, that are a bit more ambitious, and they push things forward. But it also has a dark side. We're going to speak about it in the 2019 videos, which you can take a seat now for half price, just $3.99 till the 15th of November, and I'll send them to you when they're ready. Well, Ketu in the 12th house for us for the next 2.5 months, starting from November for the next year and a half, means that Ketu empties wherever it goes. Well, Ketu and 12 houses taking a break, relaxing, being isolated, being in enclosed and more needing privacy in some sort. Well, Ketu will be like, you can't have access to that. It's not there. You might even lose interest towards that. You'll be like, I'm so focused on here creating order and working some work project, getting things done. I'm so focused on taking care of my health and physical body. I'm so focused on creating on managing and organizing projects of some sort, which is the sixth house, that you don't have time for kind of spiritual retreat and even sleep sometimes. And on another level, the 12th house is faraway travels to faraway countries, and Ketu might feel like, because Ketu makes you feel like, whatever. These things are more of priority here, the sixth house that we talked about. I don't want to escape into my imagination. Even if you're someone who likes to daydream all day long, well, Ketu can empty this for now. But you can receive spiritual counsel because Neptune is an opening to the invisible worlds. You might be not interested in even that because you're so much more interested in practical things for a year and a half ahead, starting from November. But somehow spiritual guidance is coming because Ketu is on a perch or is opening to this invisible worlds of the 12th house and channeling information. But you're not so much into spiritual things, into the inner world, imagination. You don't have time for them, most likely, as well. But the 12th house is also self-sabotaging behavior. So there is a very good side to Ketu transiting the 12th house. So if you have some addiction, that's self-sabotaging, that self-undoing, behaviors, Ketu can make you become disinterested in that. So this can be letting go of a means to escape reality that is unhealthy, But don't forget that you might not give yourself any break because you might just be so focused on this Rahu perfectionist side here that you can forget to give yourself the break because of course, you need it. But at the same time, Rahu in the sixth house can indicate that sixth house is enemies, and sixth house is people that accusers, and you can become more kind of more critical yourself for the next year and a half. And I know that Aquarius is not like that. Aquarius are not critical unless you have like a lot of planets in the sixth house. But you find yourself judging and being more irritated at disorderly people or disorganized things, and like kind of looking for the imperfections of others. Maybe that's a good thing, And while at the same time you become more ambivalent and detached towards any means of escaping, of time alone and isolation, and you might find it even hard to have holidays when Ketu is in the 12th house and Saturn there emptying, and this possibility, but that's on another note. So, at another level, this month, I think we talked about it, that Jupiter enters and it's going to affect our 5th house, 3rd, our 11th, 2nd, 5th, and 8th house. Yes, we talked about that. So yes, the month I think will be quite beneficial, especially after Jupiter enters into Sagittarius and creates that triple activating yoga for all those things that I mentioned. But also, don't forget that Mercury goes retrograde from the middle of November in this 11th house. There might be some miscommunication with friends, some misplacement of resources and stuff. But again, even if this happens, if there are some mistakes, they're fixed. And the ultimate results, because of the triple manifesting yoga, should be positive. Even though we might not feel all the time fantastic because of those retrograde, but the results, which is what Gemini is interested in, are positive. So thank you, and I hope you come and join me in my Saturn in Sagittarius webinar to go more in depth with it. You can choose even for me to look at your chart and send you an email, or that you're gonna take a seat for the 2019 videos where I go month by month, much more in depth. We're gonna really go deep into this Rahu Ketu, because both of them have dark manifestations wherever they go, depending on the level of consciousness of the person. So I have to warn you, but we're going to speak about all the retrograde periods, all the eclipses that are happening, the periods that are best, the most active for you, when you have to take a break and stuff like that through the year 2019. So thank you, and I can't wait to see you.